Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio. We are brought to you by championnews.net, your choice for the conservative voice. Our founder, Jack Roser, and myself, Carol Parisi, have Deb Gordils with us. And Deb is championing the Hispanic initiative in the city, as well as publishing El Sueno Americano, the American Dream. And Jack, you have said something for a very long time, from values to victory. And values is what this country was based on. We are based on
absolutely
very specific ethos, more of a Camelot. You come here, you work hard, and you are excellent to each other, and you work together to build this great nation.
It is a Camelot. Nice connection there.
Well, but Camelot's currently in crisis. And Deb, you know, from values to victory, the Hispanics, like the Italians, we're very family-oriented. I mean, how often do you get together on Sundays?
That's also, you know, what applies to this connection that you're making, the values to victory, it really applies to the Tea Party people, because they are value people.
Yes.
The values that our founders found as a foundation for the United States of America. And these people are throwbacks in a sense, smart people that know that there's a fundamental thing. I'll get back to morals. The Constitution of the United States of America is not a moral document.
No.
It is based on the natural law, and we can get complicated with that, but it's made for a religious people of whatever decent religion there is welcome in America.
You know, it's not even
it's
religion,
morals.
it's ethics.
It's ethics, right? It's ethics and morals. Call it what you will. It's why you've had these rotten shootings in prominent places. Like, why would somebody go to a grade school to shoot people just because they had a gun in their hand? That's what our goofy president is trying to tell us happened there, is that
amazing.
The guns drove them in to go into a grammar school and start shooting kids. Listen, if the guns motivated people, they'd be shooting the aldermen and the tax officials instead of kids in a grade school. Why are they in there? They aren't in the Catholic schools. They aren't in the Lutheran schools. They aren't in the private schools. The only shootings are happening in government schools. And that's why there's no morality in those schools, no morality allowed by the stinkers that have grabbed a hold of it, which is mainly the stinking unions are running the grade schools, the K-12, and the last thing those guys are thinking about is morals and how America can be a great country.
They're pushing an agenda. They're pushing an agenda. They help to perpetrate a crisis, then they utilize the crisis to, make their political capital and their political agenda up front center. Deb, Hispanics are values-driven people.
But they are. They're
it's always those big buts.
Okay, well, forget the butts.
I'm only kidding.
Okay, let's look.
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Boy, are we way off the subject now. Okay, let's reel it back in.
No.
All right.
Okay, what is the butt? What is the disconnect?
No, the disconnect is culture. Culture is the disconnect. You have Tea Partiers born and raised in America under the Constitution, and if they're at least 30, 40 years old, then they had a good dose of U.S. history and they had a good dose of civics courses.
You were a teacher at one time, weren't you?
That's right. And they've now moved away from that in the curriculum. Civics, geography, U.S. Constitution. You can actually take history classes that have nothing to do with U.S. history. You have so many options now. You could take world studies, or you could take world religions. You could take so many things. So there's less and less Americans are familiar with the Constitution, the religious document that Jack was talking about.
Not a religious document, he said, but it's an ethical document.
What you have is you have Hispanics who culturally come from countries, whether it's Bolivia, Argentina, Mexico. They come, and we're excluding Puerto Ricans here, but they come from countries where their constitution, their form of government excludes the common person from really taking an active role on it. And they are submissive to the voting process, submissive to political insight. And it's almost as if though they're taught and trained that is not where your place is. Your place is not there. The people with money and the people with great educations and college education, they're the ones who run the country. They're the ones who have the insight. They know better than you. So it's almost like this double class of peasants. There's not strong middle class communities throughout the world in Latin America. So you have a peasant class.
It's the king mentality. It's the
That's
king
right.
and the nobility mentality.
So they come to America,
Okay.
and politics is the last thing that they understand or want to become a part of,
Okay.
because it's not been their place. And now we're demanding them
The
and
American
asking them.
dream.
And this is why this paper is so important to that group, because culturally what it does is it informs them. It gives them information that they would not otherwise have. Information about how the voting process works, about elected officials, about the government. We encourage them to get on the school board.
You know what, Deb? This is awesome. I really want to continue this conversation. I never heard that they come from a submissive ideology, and we have to give them empowerment.
Didn't our original founders of this country come from a submissive place?
Exactly.
Stick your knuckle to your forehead and bow to the man on the hill.